technology can also be used to fuel inequality, specifically to subjugate and sexualize women and children, especially during this pandemic. Like, for example, here in my part of the world, in the Philippines, there is a report that came out the other week from the Anti-Money Laundering Council here in the Philippines that financial reports related to child and women pornography went up by 11,380%, and that's not nominal. That's percent. So that's very telling on how technology is used to sexualize, to terrorize, and to subjugate subjugate women. So how do we? I think an important question that I will leave you with is, how do we then counter this? How do we make women and girls have a safe environment in the digital world? I think a call to action can be made that for this we need to stop the digitalization of the patriarchy.
And that pattern is that if there is poverty in the family, for sure, phones and internet and are luxuries, and sometimes the whole family may not have it. Sometimes the family may have a small just calling phone for emergency uses and used very minimally. Sometimes they may have a smartphone which is shared by the whole family, but the girls will not have that much access to it as their own. Poverty is a big factor, and poverty affects not just girls but everyone, of course. But the important thing is that it's not just poverty alone that affects girls and women. How gender impacts us in a poor family, even if there is less means to survive, giving the boy a phone is looked at as a necessity.
But even the coverage of technology in mainstream media is all about what urban rich people are using. So it's not about new technology that actually will help in getting rid of manual scavenging in some parts of the country. There is no discussion about what are the various options in technology options that we have to get rid of that. It's not that.
We need to encourage girls to study and to get the proper skills when it comes to technology and the digital world. We need to tell little girls that you can do it, and that your knowledge and your knowledge is just as important as the knowledge of boys when it comes to online and digital skills.
Feminization of poverty is a reality, of course. In any family, poor family, we often will definitely see that. I wouldn't go into statistics and all, but I would like to definitely share, there is an opportunity also here. That is what I would like to focus on. More and more families, because poverty is increasing, are also looking for new ways of earning income, and are looking for a better future for their children. Her social norm, that social understanding that when you give away, you marry off your daughter, it's for her better. She goes to a better house and she has a better life. And that when, poverty is increasing at this huge scale is something that I would like to argue a lot of families are debating with, because that's my personal experience working with girls for these long years. Our approach has been to work with the girls so that they can imagine a future for themselves and decide whether they want to get educated and get a job or be an entrepreneur or do something different, not just get married as per expectation. And we have seen that when girls make that choice, and they have to fight, definitely they have to fight, but once they've made the choice to show that I am doing much better now, the families as well as extended families, communities start to think about it.
I started thinking about how patriarchy also has adapted itself to some of the more progressive kind of norms that have developed over a period of time, and it has subsumed it under itself. So what you just mentioned, that it should not happen that we try changing the norm, but that norm ultimately becomes more complex in perpetuating the same subjugation that women have always faced in their lives. And it should not happen that it has to be addressed in both sense.
With the kind of post-truth world that we are living in, where facts do not have any kind of value, and there is a lot of polarization, not everywhere in every sphere of life, and particularly in the media. I think yes, I'm so glad that this has come up, because lots of us have been talking about how all kinds of whatever the mainstream media coverage has become about opinions. So it is essentially opinion journalism and not really any reporting from the ground. And that is part of the revenue model of the mainstream media also, because why spend money and go to a place and find out what actually happened, instead of making somebody sit somewhere, write a piece, or give like 10 minutes of their opinion. How this is going to affect or help women from a marginalized socioeconomic background is that if there is more ground reporting, the first thing is that the women from the ground will get a voice. It is going to figure in that report. What do they have to say? Right now, it's only privileged people sitting in various privileged parts giving opinion on what is happening around us, whether it's how COVID is impacting women, how COVID is impacting the working classes. There is people from, or having caste privileges, having class privileges, sitting and writing and giving their opinions or analysis on all these various things that need to be discussed. With a ground report, there are complexities. They are not binary opinions. The complexities will have diverse set of voices, and the most marginalized sections that are not actually represented still have some chance of getting some kind of voice, getting some kind of voice in the mainstream media when it comes out. So I think that is something that is extremely important, and this is how it's going to help a diverse section of this.